Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Duncannuva, and today, on Duncannuva, we are going to be continuing on the Fallout 4 quests, per se, obviously. So also, if I sound tired, it's because, I've just woken up, it's just, after 9, usually, I know, you're probably thinking, where's it gonna come out? I don't like mornings, I tend to avoid trying to wake up at about 9ish, but I do because my internal clock's like, hey, guess what, you're waking up now. So yeah, we're going to be talking a bit about things. By the way, if you don't get why the reference with my title, I think it's a hell of a time to explain what the hell I mean by JoJo Rabbit. JoJo Rabbit is a film that came out this year. Hey, welcome to the stream. But as I was saying, JoJo Rabbit's a film that came out this year.
It's good to see you again, Knight. You've come a long way since you stumbled into the Cambridge police station.
Thanks, Halen. I assume the place is still in one piece.
We're doing the best that we can. We've had the occasional synth attack, but so far, thanks to the
That's not surprising, after all.
The film is set in Nazi Germany on the western, towards the Western Front, in about 1945. The film follows a young 10-year-old named JoJo, or a young one.
Doesn't sound too difficult.
Look, if you don't, good luck, Knight.
Damn barrels. Radiation with a twisted sense of humor.
That is, yeah. As I was saying, the film has a very interesting thing, because you follow a kid, throughout, and a friend of mine who is German who saw the film before I did. Welcome to the stream. We're about JoJo Rabbit. But like I said, a friend of mine who saw it said it was German history meets Kiwi humor. And yeah, the film is really funny, and like there were several times in the film I had to cross-check or anything. But thank you to Mark Fallon for answering one question of mine, indirectly answering a question of mine. Myself and Blaze, who went and saw the film, towards the end of the film when the Americans come in, I was wondering why the hell there wasn't any panzer tanks, or, any armored vehicles, such as armored cars and shit. Well, Mark Fallon answered that for me, indirectly in a video of his about a T-35. For those of you who don't know what the T-35 is, was a Soviet, was a Soviet armored that was used by the Soviets in the early parts of the war, and one of them was eventually captured by the Germans and sent back and put on display. Well, about the time of the end of the war, Nazi Germany was losing a lot of tanks, was losing far more tanks than it could produce. So they had to start using vehicles that they had captured throughout the war, and one of these, and that explained basically what the hell had happened and why in the film there were no tanks. Cool. Simply put it, there was simply not enough armored vehicles. For Nazi Germany. And that is unfortunate. But yeah, if you haven't seen JoJo Rabbit, it's actually very, very, very good. It does show you how some kids were brainwashed and manipulated by the Third Reich, especially in World War II. Because JoJo believes that, you know, his best friend's Hitler, he's going to get up there, he's going to meet the Führer. And a whole bunch of other bullshit, like the fact that Hitler eats unicorn. And it ends with
State your purpose, stranger. You want
I'm looking for...
the children.
Right? Trust me, I'm on...
Atom has. When he that is why.
I want to spread his...
Perhaps then I have no. If you would take this, follow the brilliance of the glow. May atoms.
Sure.
yeah, and it is really quite both amazing to see and quite sad to see, because unfortunately, you know, it is World War II Nazi Germany. You've got quite a bit of problems there. And yeah, so that's why my title is For Lit and Chill number 9. 9. JoJo Rabbit. And that's just down to the fact that I thought it would be a funny Easter egg meme. Yeah. But speaking about WW2 and mini things that haven't happened, well, many things. As I was stating earlier, like yesterday, I was quite surprised. Well, in an earlier stream, I was kind of surprised that there were no WW2 vehicles or WW2 stuff in this thing. And it got me thinking, because I'm going to take a page out of Metro here. For those of you who have not played Metro The Last Light, or any of the Metro games, you encounter a faction based off the Nazis from Nazi Germany. You've also got a Communist Party and a few other things like that. And it got me thinking, like, that's actually a pretty good reason, because in Fallout New Vegas, you've got Caesar's Legion, and the Caesar's Legion, which is a remodification of Julius Caesar's Roman Empire. Also is, you know, there. But what about people who would read books or find holotapes? What about things, you know, that would base them off them? I've actually attempted to create mods in the past that add in a lot of World War II themed,
Yes.
characters. For instance, one of the ones I've added in is, a man who ends up finding tons and tons of books on Benito Mussolini's fascist empire, thinks, hey, that's a pretty good idea. Actually starts a fascist dictatorship through as Benito Mussolini, not as not as Adolf Hitler, not as Joseph Goebbels or whoever. Yeah. And he calls himself El Little Deuce. And when, you know, when he encounters anyone, as I stated, he's based off Benito Mussolini. He recruits them into the into his version, and because he starts off in the southeastern states, Florida and such, you know, he also has mutants. He also has you know, anyone that was willing to fight, and he's even got a special type of unit called Armor Centurion. What that is like, it's a special power armor set that he manufactures for power armor. So with that basically being stated on who the hell Little Deuce is, he's the fascist dictator of the Wastelands, and was one character I was working on, but had to stop. And then you've got, of course, people who go, oh, why not just use Hitler? But because if you use Hitler, you're literally creating another Hitler for Fallout, and really, the Wasteland don't need it. At the end of the day, you know, light seems to be a bit not as bright. Right, it was there. I've got another one that ends up becoming the new. They are so impressed by the Soviet Union, they become the new Soviet Republic, which is in the northwestern state, or the north states of like Alaska and Nebraska and shit. And they are literally unopposed up there. And then of course you've got things like many other things. But yeah. Excuse me. We'll have to go through and get all the different companions later and do their things. I can't get X688. Duncan, it's Wendy from Hematology. You have an appointment with me today, but you do not need to attend. However, I'd like you to have some done. When do you want to have them done? That's a bit awkward. I didn't realise I had a hematology appointment.
Loiter at the Institute complete. Finally have first-hand knowledge about their
If it was up to me, I'd take every barrel.
Excuse me, Proctor Ingram.
Looks like the Mark 28s are gonna do the trick. That was a good find.
I'll work with your team to ensure that Prime's bombs remain stable after they're loaded into his pack. It won't be too much of a problem.
Well, Dr. Lee, I have to admit, we couldn't have done this without you.
It's a little early to begin celebrating, Proctor Ingram. We haven't fully thrown the switch on Liberty Prime. And I'm just hoping all the work I've done to keep the system stable are gonna hold.
I have full confidence.
I appreciate Proctor.
All the
Actually, after all,
It would be better if a trained technician
Liberty Prime, back online.
Hey, I was here earlier, but I had to go. Yeah,
Diagnostic
any day this week would be good.
accepted.
Give him a moment. He needs to adjust to his new configuration.
Voice module.
Awesome. Well, welcome back, Spaceman. It's alright. I understand. I am.
Liberty Prime.
Tomorrow I'm going to be busy, so I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow because I've just had something pop up IRL, and I'll be able to go. I have to go and get it done.
Any and all.
I have to go get blood tests done. Woo! Because this is something I really haven't told anyone. Not even Herbert knows. So yeah, you'll be the first person to know outside of on the internet.
Weapons.
Back in 7 odd years ago, I had a seizure.
Depleted. Reload required.
And don't know what brought it on, it just happened.
Power core offline. Running.
Myself, my mother, my friends, everyone that knew me was shocked, including a lot of people in my school.
Ability to repel red Chinese invaders. Compromised.
green lights across the board here. It's looking good from where I'm sitting. Doctor, you wouldn't mind keeping an eye on the big guy today. Appreciate it. Well, I have to admit,
I will be having to, and since then I was at, I had an upset stomach a while back, and, was in quite a bit of considerable pain.
beauty myself.
You didn't have to do that.
Come on. Besides, anyway, that's enough. Elder Maxon's, and thank.
So unfortunately now my life is I have to go to the hospital or my doctors to go get blood tests done, because one of the main things that was flagged when I went and had my the thing was my white blood cell count was too high, way above normal. It started showing signs of going down, but then it just immediately raised back up. And for me, that's very depressing to know, because basically, because no one knows what the fuck's causing it. Oh, I forgot to say something at the beginning of my video. Do that in a bit.
Is there anything you wish to tell me, Knight?
Not at all. I have nothing to hide.
I find that there.
Right.
Proctor Quinlan, a portion of his findings. After careful analysis, Paladin Dance.
That's impossible.
I'm afraid the data you brought, Paladin Dance, to make matters, his sudden absence. I'm finding it difficult to believe that.
You have to believe.
Which means I. However, Dance is on mission, and which leaves me. I'm ordering.
That's horrible. I hope they find out what it is. Yeah, same.
Listen, but if we're to find.
I mean, for me, it's really depressing, because it's either they'll find something or they won't, or, you know, I'm stuck, because it basically means every 3 months I have to go and get blood tests done. And well, one of the big scares for me is it eventually may evolve into cancer, and if that does, that's just gonna be
Attention.
fan-fucking-tastic.
The field assignment from Proctor Tegan should speak to him at once. That is all.
Knight, I was told you were coming. Sorry about this business with Dance.
He'll be missed.
Doubtful. I've been poor, as you're well aware. I think you may want.
Well,
So he sets Dance up.
How did you
what mortal glue did you use? Because this is way before mortal glues. Mortal glues, my dude. Way before it.
I don't have time.
Why? I can't believe there's a.
I use Harumble. I used to use Harumble salt, cement. I've got Tamiya extra thin at the moment, which I'm using, because all my other glues, other than the Harumble,
I believe I have some.
Very well then.
Knight, if you'd. I've stored the data on my.
I'll take anything that gets me closer.
Yes, ma'am.
Proceed.
If you'll follow me.
oh, where the hell's Halen?
Isn't the woman who revived Prime? The Brotherhood is in your debt. Now, did you have?
I found some tech.
And they're in. Here are the. Remember.
But yeah, like I said, it's at the moment it's a lot of guessing and a lot of Okay, lol, my parents made me paint booth to get the gases out. Yeah, I've like I said, when I do model building, I do it very very short. Like if I'm gonna build a kit, I'll build a kit and then I'll glue it and then that, because the other problem is I get a massive headache if I keep with building models too long.
Excuse me, Scribe Halen.
So
Do you actually plan on killing Paladin Dance? Well, I've known. He trained me. He's earned. I don't care what Quinn.
That's a bold statement.
It's more than just Dance. That's why I'm asking you. If you're not
All right.
that's all that I'll just have. It was listening post. It's isolated. Just
yeah, so like probably eye strain or not moving around. Yeah, it's probably not moving around because where I do my models, it's really tight. So you know I don't really get much ability to move around a lot. Used to be able to go outside and build them, which was fun. But yeah, I've since moved, and going to build outside is like damn near impossible because the place we've got has no backyard, fuck all space to set up a decent area to build in, and it's really just kind of cramped, really, this place. The ducks have got the other yard, and got to get mowing done in there later.
Our vertebrates should give us the air supply.
So, yep, that's my life at the moment. So, I just received a text from one of the people at the hospital that have to look after me. Dareth Hogan. That's one case I'm quite glad that we don't have to worry about now. Yeah. One thing I am quite, meh with is recently, last year actually, there was a murder in New Zealand. A chick named Grace Mullaney got murdered. Murdered to death by a very, very, very nasty individual. And he's recently been charged with guilty of, said crime. Wasn't even blatantly obvious that he wasn't getting away. Especially if New Zealand had anything about it. And the guy's basically now gonna rot in hell. For it, and I can't say I'm sad about it because the guy decided to fuck over his life. And, yeah.
I'm not surprised Maxon sent you. He never liked to do the dirty work himself.
I don't understand what's going on, Dance.
Believe me. Until Quinlan got that list decoded, I never expected it if it wasn't for Halen. So, what are your orders?
No, but I'm hoping there's a way.
Don't be ridiculous. Look, I wish Maxon it, but that doesn't change a thing. If you disobey your orders, synths can't be trusted. Technology, I need to be the example.
The empathy.
I appreciate it. I'm ready. Maxon's ordered.
No.
I can't. Why would you?
I've already lost my family. I don't want to lose my friend.
You're right. Perhaps not.
Whatever you decide.
Thank you. The only key. The sooner I take my holiday. Now.
Yeah, like the one major thing I have against this quest is there's actually cut content in the game files that you can actually become the next Brotherhood of Steel Elder because you can replace Maxon. And I'm kind of sad that nobody on PS4 has made that a thing because it's not because it comes from Fallout 4 itself, but and it's not from another game. I know you can. I think you can get it on Xbox One. I don't know what the mod's called, but I know you can get it on Xbox One. I think. But speaking about Fallout 4, I should be able to get it and its DLC, Game of the Year edition, hopefully for cheap this week because a local game shop will have it for sale. Fuck.
How dare you betray the Brotherhood?
It's not her fault. It's mine.
I'll deal with you in a moment. Knight, why has this thing not been destroyed?
He's still alive.
Him! It wasn't born flesh. By attempting to play...
After all
You're the physical... Look around you, millions. Perhaps even...
Sure.
They called it a new... Can't you see this?
Right.
You're a single.
Dance shares the.
Don't be so naive. How can you trust the machine that's erased? Its thoughts programmed. Its very soul manufactured. Those ethics that it's striving to change.
It's true. But when I saw and when I heard, don't you? From the moment I...
It's too late for... The Institute is... I don't intend. My orders...
It's all right. You convinced me. Whatever you decide.
Touching. Either you execute...
After all the sacrifice.
Very well.
If I've earned any of your trust or respect...
You value this machine's life, that... So...
Right.
Allowing...
I find it quite sad that the fact that you can't actually tell them to go, shut the fuck up.
As far as you were pursued, from this day forward, should you choose to ignore me, do we?
I do. Thank you for...
Don't mistake. The only reason I'm returning to the Prydwen night. Take some time. We still have the...
Hi.
It took a hell of a lot of guts to stand up to Maxon like that.
Friends take care of each other.
That they do. Which is why I didn't plan on spending the rest of my... Besides, you're still gonna... Now, you better get... If you ever need me...
Goodbye, Dance.
Farewell. I hope the next time we...
Which it is, because then he ends up changing his armor to XO1, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, to enter at the Institute. Yep. No, I know. I've got things planned this week I've got to do. So tomorrow I've got to go down to the hospital. I think I put cash on my card already. Yeah. Had a very interesting flavor of cola the last week. And it was it was orange vanilla, and I've had orange vanilla flavored things in the past, but this can of Coke did not taste like that. I can tell you that now. Don't ask why everyone's Scottish. It's not a face. But yeah, I'm actually at the moment waiting for the Black Friday sales.
Reporting as ordered, Elder.
Before we continue, I want to make one thing clear. This conversation will be the last time we speak about Dance. As far as the Brotherhood of Steel is concerned, he's dead. Do you understand?
Of course.
Perhaps there's hope.
Right.
Of course. Dance's execution, that traitor. His quarters, congratulations.
I won't disappoint.
Had I even just be aware, I trust you in any event. While the finishing touch, report to him, advocate.
Yeah, great. This will be the one where we get to destroy the, Yep. This is the time we get to destroy the railroad, because if I was going to rank all of the factions that I've seen throughout Fallout, the railroad is the worst, out of all of them. I mean, Kaiser's Legion, the NCR, and Mr. House and all the shit in Fallout New Vegas were actually pretty interesting. You know? They had their own unique stories, you see. But not all of it was enjoyable. I mean, there were some parts of Fallout 4 or Fallout New Vegas I didn't really enjoy. I found the game after a while got extremely fucking boring. Especially like if you were going through and you were doing like random things. It just got extremely boring after a while, which is basically that. But it kept it interesting enough.
Welcome back. Heard about Dance.
Let me see what you have.
Sure, I've got.
Let's put a smile on that face. Yeah. But the railroad for me, like, we fight for the freedom of synths by wiping out who they are. You know, they just do a whole lot of things that just knock me the wrong way. I'm like, I don't particularly... So, my thing is, like, I don't particularly enjoy them. So, yeah, for me, they're not the best faction. Oh, we got Death from Above, a rocket launcher. Now we need to find... Oh, that'll work. some new weapons. I will definitely get these grenades and obviously the mines. Oh, wrong thing. What I accidentally grab? You. Don't need a laser rifle. We'll grab the fragmentation grenades and mines. Probably even the Cairo ones as well. Oh, Gatling laser. I wasn't too fussed about like the changes to the Gatling laser. I didn't hate it and enjoy it either. Like, I think it's indifferent. I'm indifferent to it anyway, at least. And you know, it's not the worst thing I've seen. I have seen really shit versions of it. Have a Fat Man, have the hunted rifle, Knuckles, laser pistol, machete. One thing I will be doing after this quest is my whole after I've done the main quest, I'm going to be doing Automatron. Then after I've done Automatron, I'm going to be doing oh shit. No, you can't have the plasma grenade. After I've done Automatron, I'm going to be doing Far Harbor, obviously, and then I'm going to be doing Nuka World, which I actually had to say that was the first DLC I brought, and I actually quite enjoyed it. I did quite enjoy Nuka World. I thought that was a fun little DLC, but unfortunately, like with a lot of people, it was too little, too late. You know, you can't, you know, you've got the ability to be bad, and you know, whoop-de-doo, who gives a shit, you know. But for me, you know, I actually do like the fact that you can actually go good and just murder everyone. You've got some very interesting new factions, of which I do have to go and get one weapon before I go and murder everyone in that DLC. And you know, I'm very indifferent. I mean, like, compared to, like, Fallout 3's, DLCs. Like, each Fallout's had very fun DLCs. With the exception of New Vegas, I found a lot of New Vegas's DLCs were trying to compensate for lack of story, which is the major problem with New Vegas. Is like, yeah, you can play New Vegas, yeah, you can mod the game to shit, but there's no fucking story there. You know, you can play it as many goddamn times as you want. You can go in and out and up and down and left and right. You can do whatever the hell your heart desires. But you lose stories very quickly. There are multiple different stories, and they're all trying to do the same thing. And unfortunately, somewhere down the line, they it sucks that no one inhabits Nuka World after you kill the raiders. No, that is pretty sure. Well, no, someone does. That is the traders there. The traders that live in Nuka World and were living in Nuka World before the raiders, they actually, under the law there, they go back and retake Nuka World back for themselves, you know? My major problem with doing the whole Nuka World DLC is, I'm pretty sure you can't activate the power generators. I think you can, which I'm gonna try with this character because it's she's gonna be too good. She's too good for this. But yeah, like the major problem is with Nuka World. Like Nuka World's major problem is that it is trying to be something that the game hasn't added in. Because I mean, Fallout 3, that was the second game I played in the Fallout franchise ever. And the one thing that stood out to me was you had a karma system. For every good thing you did, good things would happen to you. You know, people would like you. You'd get really awesome things from Three Dog. Bow wow. You know, you'd get a whole lot of other interesting things that happened to you whilst you were playing in the game. You know, you'd have some people come on. And of course, occasionally you'd be hunted by the, you know, the evil faction in the game. Which I forget his thing, something. And then, you know, if you're neutral, nothing bad happens. Nothing, you know, you're just neutral. But, you know, if you're bad, everybody hates you. You know, some of the nastiest companions out there are just, nope. And, you know, I don't hate it, but I found it rather fun to do that stuff with. And to be fair though, these I've seen worse ways it's done. And Fallout New Vegas, it tried to incorporate that, and it failed miserably. One thing that I do remember standing out for me was, what annoyed me was the, you know, you've got, each faction has their own, you know, like, karma system. Like, if you're really good with one faction, you know, you'll get good things with that faction, you'll get good standings, you'll get some good stuff. But you can become vilified with other factions that will send, that will take you on site. You know, so on and so on and so on. And for me, like, that got to the point where that was just like, why even bother? Because it's just bad. It's just meh. You know, it's not interesting. It's not fun. It's boring. In fact, it also, for me, ruins quite a bit of New Vegas, because it's you know, let's see how many stories we can sham into this. For me, that was just like, why? Sure. We're down by bugs. Yeah, like, there's a whole lot of stuff I've got. For as well, but like I said, Fallout New Vegas was trying far too hard. But, you know, some of the factions were great, because, you know, the party gang is, you know, you've got former prisoners. To be honest, the boomers were the best part of the game. Hell yes! Hell yes to that. Like, I'm quite glad that Fallout New Vegas has done something about, you know, the whole thing. Like, there's a World War II ship.
Ah, Paladin. Good.
You know, there's a bomber crashed in Lake Mead. What are we gonna do about it? Boomers, we're gonna fucking use that thing.
I'm ready, Captain.
It feels empty other than New Vegas itself. It feels so empty other than New Vegas itself. Yeah.
Launch our attack.
Right.
They're small. Our tactical, if we strike them now.
Hit them before they hit us.
Precisely. Destroying the railroad hinges on to that end.
Consider it done.
Thank you, Paladin. Now, before you...
Our sources, they're calling it they use the robot. If you could use this,
Sure.
I'm certain we could put...
I'll try to get
Good.
I'm certain you'll, when you're ready, they'll provide them. Add Victoria.
Just gonna grab that.
You're no good at hacking Pam's systems. You should take someone with you, okay?
No, I'm really good at backing Pam's systems. Yeah, I mean, like, there were some really good moments in New Vegas. Like, some of the factions, some of the idle dialogue you go were good. But as you said, it is rather empty for a Fallout game. I mean, heck, even Fallout 4. It's rather empty, but compared to New Vegas, there's a lot more in it than there is with New Vegas. Failed Butcher's Bill 2. Meh. What was that quest anyway? Like, let me have a look. What was Butcher's Build 2? Should show up with, oh, it doesn't show up with failed quest. Rip. Oh, I don't care. High-powered shredding machine gun, please. But, yeah, like I was saying, the Railroad, which was what I was originally talking about. One of the worst factions, because, I mean, they offer nothing. They're getting by on dumb luck. Both the Brotherhood, the Minutemen, and the Institute know fully well what the hell they're doing. They know where the hell they are. They think they're safe, but they're not. I mean, for this, the Brotherhood of Steel are coming in to destroy them. The Institute can, at any time, teleport synths into there. Into their thing, and I think they do during your invasion of it. I mean, the Minutemen, I think, just launch a full-on assault. There is a ability to get both to get the Railroad, Minutemen, and the Brotherhood of Steel to all work together. But I'm never going to be able to get that done because I dislike the railroad so much. And to be able to do it, I'd need to actually tolerate the railroad, and I just can't. I just cannot because they're the worst. Hello. Gotta love miniguns. God. The Black Death is back. Yep. Did you hear? Yeah, I did hear in China. Which is one of the many places I'm not surprised. Because, to be frank though, like China, you know, with all the things they're doing, especially to like Muslims and a lot of other innocent people, even Hong Kong at the moment, you know, they're thinking that they can get away with it, but, you know, I essentially think that the fact that they're getting the Black Death is kind of justified, because, you know, or what they're doing, they're trying to strip a country free of its democracy. They're trying to start interfering with other countries. I know they're starting to interfere with Australia, and I know they're starting to interfere with, with the US, which is pissing off. Hit someone and they spawn caps. Yeah, and it's really kind of like, because a lot of people, I'm one of the many people like, oh, you know, shit, the Black Death is back, because we remember anything that the Black Death was able to spread quite fast. And with the fact that there was a lot of anti-vaxxers bullshit, most countries won't, but they have before, yeah. Yeah, that's the truth, unfortunately. The other major problem that's with this is, that if it starts spreading, it's gonna kill a lot of people, because
Detonation pack secured and ready, sir.
we'll get back from it. Every time I say country with a C, it doesn't want to say. Yeah, because they're thinking like, oh, you're gonna say the C word, and I'm like, oh, just please. It's all YouTube's new bullshit algorithm. Like, here's the thing, like, Copa requested that YouTube not do an algorithm for this, because everybody knows that YouTube's algorithm is just gonna screw up. Like it has done so magnificently in the past, the apocalypse. The FTC were like, we do not want a algorithm. YouTube's like, how about I do anyway? And that pissed off a lot of people. Because the FTC, who have a fucking brain, know that a lot of innocent channels, with this algorithmic bullshit, know that a lot, you know, a lot of innocent channels are gonna be wiped out by this. the sea country are the one of the countries that like to test shit like that on civilizations. Yeah! I mean, what they're doing to the Muslim population of China at the moment is just fucking disgusting. You know, people are like, oh, hey, where is it? Pam.
Full system reset accepted. Awaiting instructions.
Could steal all this loot. I have to load the holotape again. But yeah, like, it's disgusting what China thinks they can get away with. And the fact that none of the other countries have stepped in, like, you know, the US or Russia or hell, even Britain.
Pam, ready for programming instructions. Recommend interface type RJ11G.
Okay. They don't want a nuclear war. Yeah, I know. I know they don't want
Pam, factory reset mode enabled. Command mode available.
Or no trade. Yeah, like, the thing, though, is that every single country cut off trade with China, which they're not going to, China would be fucked. Ooh, who the hell am I missing to kill? Tactical feeding, reprogram cat, Pam. Yeah. But, yeah, like, they won't do it because China is a good trade partner, also some shit. And for me, what the major disappointment is you know, as you said, that they don't want a nuclear war. Frankly, I couldn't give a shit if we didn't get a nuclear war. Because this world is so fucked that there is no point in trying to even keep it going. And that's the depressing thing. I'm 22, going on to 23. I'm not the only one who's had enough of this world's shit. You've got the US who are doing whatever the fuck the US want. You've got China doing what China wants. And at the end of the day, you've got the older generation loathing the newer generations. Because the newer generation understand that that the older generation are stuck in their goddamn ways and are refusing to fix anything because it will cost them money. Whoa, 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 I live in one of the largest cities. I would be the first to go, yeah, I know that, and I'm fully sorry, but that, at the end of the day, I mean, I live in one of the largest, major cities in Christchurch, in New Zealand as well. Not Christchurch. If you know, a nuclear war happened, yeah, damn sure I'd be wiped out because nukes would hit New Zealand. We're not safe. I'm just gonna steal all this shit. And why shouldn't I? And see, at the end of the day, either the nuclear war would happen or nuclear war won't. I mean, oh shit! I just locked the door. No, don't lock the door. I do apologize for that, but at the end of that's just unfortunately how the dice are rolling at the moment. But getting back to what I was saying, like, the major problem is that a lot of corporations are doing things that are illegal. You know, because they've got old men and old women stuck in the ways of screwing people, their employees, out of everything. You know, ruining relationships for them, ruining other experiences. I know the US at the moment, your minimum wage is pathetic. And that's unfortunately the downside. I often have to sit there going, how the fuck does anyone live? Answer, they don't. At the moment, I'm being forced to live below minimum wage because the beneficiaries in my country have deemed me, well, we just have to wait for them to die off. Yeah. But unfortunately, a lot of the younger generation, too, are stuck in those ways as well. But the other thing is that governments, who normally would have cracked down upon this mess, aren't anymore. Because money is a powerful thing. At the end of the day, if you can bribe a government official, you're going to basically be allowing your company to get away with the most shadiest of shit. And that's... yeah. I mean, I know New Zealand's no fucking clean peach, but there are governments worse than that. Also, minimum wage isn't too bad, really. For the area with... oh, okay. Again, I don't know too much about it, but I've only seen some people bitch about some, you know, minimum wage stuff. And I mean, I sit here in New Zealand, my minimum wage is about, I think about $20 an hour now. Somewhere out there. My major problem is that no company wants to hire me. Like, I've got the skills for, you know, for the companies. Like, oh, hey, what can you offer? I can offer all this. No one gives a shit. And it's depressing, because, you know, you wake up, you go, oh, hey, I'm ready to go see if I got to the interview station. Unfortunately, these days I'm not, because, yay, because of reasons. But, yeah, no, at the end of the day, the sooner older men and older women who are stuck living in a time that is long since past die and are passed by someone who gives a shit, the sooner, you know, the world will start transforming into a better place. And that is, well, that's basically all I have to say about that. And I've also got to now do something to comply with the UCH's new Copper Acts. None of my work is for 13 years.
Well, it appears that the railroad won't
For
be...
anyone under the age of 13 years.
Those sympathizers deserved exactly what...
that they did. I'm also... we are having it brought to the Pridwin, where it will be... it's an amazing piece of pre... speaking of pre-war technology. Congratulations. Ad Victoriam.
Yay! Sorry if I sound so dead. It's like, whoa, I tried to apply for a job where I build models and they didn't even tell me no. I had a... I didn't even want to get paid. Yeah, like, I've often asked for volunteer work at museums in New Zealand. Oh, well, in my city, because I can afford a bus and, you know, I can easily... I've got nothing better to do. I sit on my ass playing video games all day.
Attention. This is a notice to all personnel. Please think of your brothers and sisters down below. Thoroughly secure all gear while on the flight deck. Thank you.
One thing I find quite... Who the hell's down there? Yeah, Puerto Rico.
You look like you've been through the ringer, Paladin. I'd say that I blame you. That was a hell of a business with dance.
I would have done it for free, but they only have to pay for the bus ride, which is a bit too pricey for me. Yeah,
Believe me.
Well, if it makes you... Anyway, we need to move on. We've been feeding him power. That's why we need you to find it.
And I'm betting you know, right?
Of course I do. I didn't become head of ship maintenance just because of my good looks, you know?
I love some of the... yeah, we're nearly at the end of it.
Well, it would be.
I knew you'd see it, Mike. Kells has a vertibird on standby.
Right.
Grab whatever gear.
Sure.
If the Institute...
But yeah, like one of the things I got told by the Canterbury
House over at Railroad HQ. Could probably use some fresh supplies.
Set me up.
All of my weapons are...
one of the things that I often have to worry about is with that is fuck, of course. Sorry. Hang on a minute. I will eventually get there. Don't worry. Right. Yes. No. As I was saying, I'd offered to volunteer at the museum here in Christchurch, which is called the Canterbury Museum. And I was immediately told, no, they don't accept that type of work, and don't ask again. I was just kind of going, well, okay then, that's a bit, depressing, but you do you. What are you doing?
Playing Pokemon for an hour.
Oh, did Antley let you?
Yes, for an hour.
How come for an hour?
He wants to take us with him.
Ah! Fair enough, yeah. I mean, fair enough. Really shit we don't need. We'll get rid of all these railroad armored coats because I don't care about them. And that was kind of like depressing because, like, oh hey, I love history, maybe I can help clean or, do stuff. No. I've offered to the Royal New Zealand Air Force Museum, or otherwise known as the Wigram Museum. They actually did accept me. They were actually like going, yes. We may request you for volunteer work, and I mean, it's working around aircraft, and I do love aircraft. And the other museums that we have around war, I can't access because they're both in the North Island. And that's the Museum of Transport, or MOTAT. Oh, no, Museum of Transport and Aeronautical Transport, MOTAT. And the other one is the Wairarapa Museum. Or Wairuru. And I'm planning on going to Wairuru some point either next year, because I'm saving up for plane tickets, or I'll go by the ferry. And, yeah. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Duncannuva saying G1 Superior, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!